Let's learn about the book of The book of Zephaniah is one of the 39 books of the Old Testament, and it is the 21st book in the order of the books of the Bible. It was written by the prophet Zephaniah, who was a contemporary of Jeremiah and Habakkuk, and he prophesied during the reigns of kings Josiah, Ammon, and Hoshea of Judah, which places the date of this prophecy between 640 and 609 BC. The major theme of the book of Zephaniah is God's judgment against Judah and the nations, but with a strong emphasis on the salvation of the righteous remnant. The title of the book comes from its first word, Zephaniah, which is the name of the prophet, and the name Zephaniah means God has hidden, or God will hide. This short book of only 3 chapters can be summarized as follows. In chapter 1, the prophet announces the coming judgment of God against Judah and the surrounding nations because of their wickedness and their unfaithfulness to God. He describes for woes, or for destructions that are coming. The destruction of the strong man, the arrogant, the wicked, and false prophets. Then Zephaniah gives a message of hope, saying that those who are saved will be gathered under the protection of God like sheep of his pasture. In chapter 2, God says he will gather all the nations for judgment, starting with the Philistines, the Moabites, Ammonites, Assyrians, and other nations that have oppressed God's people. But he also says that the people of Judah and Israel have been as a stumbling block to the righteous among the nations. Therefore, they must also be purged. Zephaniah then goes on to describe the great day of the Lord, the day of judgment, when the sun and the moon and the stars will be darkened, and the remnant of God's people who are left in Judah will be saved and will be purified. Chapter 3 reiterates the judgment against Judah and Jerusalem because of their sin, their idolatry, and their oppression of the poor. But Zephaniah also announces the salvation that will come to Jerusalem through a remnant that will be left after the judgment. A remnant that will possess the land and be called holy. And in verses 14 to 20, we see one of the most beautiful passages in the Old Testament, where the prophet describes the joy that will come into Zion, the praise and the blessings that will be poured out on the righteous. So these are the main points of the book of Zephaniah, a book that announces judgment, but also a book that gives a message of hope and salvation to the remnant of God as people. Now, if you want to know more about the background of this book, I encourage you to watch our video on the history of Judah during the monarchy, because this will help you to understand the historical context of this prophecy. And we also have a video on the theology of the day of the Lord, which will help you to understand this important event that is mentioned in this book and other books of the Old Testament. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when we upload new videos. You can also watch more videos by clicking on the links that appear on your screen right now. Until next time, Shalom.